Welcome to the MarcWes Sports Podcast.
That could segue just to what I've been doing lately. I just came back from Greensboro, North Carolina. I was at the ACC championship, ACC tournament. And it was a nice experience, man, bro. I'm gonna tell you this, man. The best food, free food all day, bro. Like, oh my god, the food. Like, first we had, and it was stuff I could eat. I'd be, trying to eat right. They had grilled chicken with sweet potatoes that first day with string beans, and the next day, damn, what did they have the next day? I think it was they had some fish. They had some fish and some rice, and I just had that, and man, they just had so much stuff, bro. Like, I had to go in on some of it, bro. I'm sorry.
Why not? Why not?
I had to go in on some of it, bro. Like, they had a whole snack station where you could just grab any snack you wanted. They had Snickers, Twix, Kit Kats. They had oatmeal bars, which I had like probably 4 of those per day.
Little oatmeal took some bars. To go too.
Yeah, I took some to go as well. And then we had they had ice cream sandwiches. I love ice cream sandwiches. Ooh. So I had like 2 of those. It was just amazing. And then they had popcorn. They had popcorn that was just popping, fresh
popcorn.
They just give you a bag. I was just like, man, on top of the food that they served, they served the lunch, they served the dinner, all of it was free. It was great, man. And then at the end of the first 2 days that I was there was a place across the street, a brewery, where you could get whatever drink you wanted for free?
Oh my god!
Every drink
is happening, everything,
and food was free. It was a short menu. It was just like pizza and salads and stuff like that, but that was free too. I was just like, man, this is crazy, bro. Like, so just that alone was just a really good time. I got a lot of great content while I was out there. I interviewed head coach Jim Larinaga one-on-one. I was the only Miami guy out there too, by the way. I was the only Miami press guy covering the Miami basketball team. So I had access to their practice. I put that on the YouTube, posted to the site. I did a podcast right there in the press room because nobody was in there. I was in there super early because I was there for the practice, and then there was nobody in the press room. So I did a podcast with a guy from the Rivals Duke site.
Oh, yeah, I could go ahead and follow all that on CanesCounty.com, the Storm Tracker podcast. You got Marcus, and whatever y'all need, y'all could go ahead and get that here, or you could get that there. Specifically, if it's UM, anything about the U, Storm Tracker podcast, CanesCounty.com.
Appreciate that plug. And then it was cold though, bro. It was like, we forget how cold it is in other places, or I do. Because I almost didn't bring my big jacket. Everybody in South Florida got one big thick jacket at least, right? And
like the old school style.
I almost didn't bring that jacket, bro, and I would have been sick. I would have been sick if I didn't bring that jacket, but I brought it. Thank God. It was 30 degrees, bro. 35 degrees. Cold weather up there, but as far as the games are concerned, oh my God, the first game coming down to the last shot, I thought that thing was going in like the Florida State game, but it was the 3rd game in a row that it came down to the final shot in the air that could have beat Miami. The first from Florida State did beat Miami. Pittsburgh missed, and then Wake Forest ends up missing, and they ended up going to the next round. But the next game, I wanted to ask you about this because I know you is a lot more of a conspiracy theorist than I am, for sure. Did you watch the game against Duke?
I watched it, and to be honest with you, once he had twisted his ankle, I was hot.
Did you think that was a yeah? I was like, my thought in my head, I was like, Wes gonna think that this is a setup. You know,
I'm like, yo, like what
Wes
the hell's going on?
This shit is a setup because for the fact that this shit happened in the first 2 minutes of the game was crazy.
Like you tell me, you like, come on, man. Like for me, I know what I saw, and you was absolutely right with me. That's why I had to go outside. Like, look, I went outside. You feel me? Like that got me hot because I'm like, dog, we already small, and I remember you talking about this guy, Norchak or Mir, from time to time because you majority of the time we be speaking on the football team. But I remember hearing you talk about this guy when we spoke on the University of Miami basketball teams earlier on in the year, or even probably late December or something like that. Yeah. And I'm like, come on, man. I'm just like, damn, he not coming back. I went outside, came back in, I could still see the score, but I couldn't really hear, everything that was going on because I'm looking through the sliding door. I'm like, yo, I was so hot. I'm looking at it, but we kept it close. Yeah. We kept it close, and they just pulled away. But I look, like you was right. I felt like how the fuck that's gonna happen to us? I felt like the same thing when it came to the Miami Heat when we're in the bubble. You got Dragic injured. Oh my God, not just him. Bam, he's injured. These people don't get injured, and today you're injured. I mean, for the most part, our basketball team, at least our starting 5, stayed healthy. In regards to the University of Miami, they was healthy.
For starting 5 has been healthy all year, bro. Like they haven't had any injury. The only Nigel Pack, who comes off of the bench, he had like knee soreness and he missed the Florida State game. That was the only other time they had an injury. Like it couldn't have happened at a worser time, bro. Like the only thing that would have made this worse if this was the actual NCAA tournament. If this was March Madness, it would have been even worse. But from what I hear, that he may be able to play this Friday when the real tournament starts. They're playing Drake in the first game. They need him, bro, because like you said and like I said, they're small. And this dude is 6'7", 6'8". He just plays big. Somehow he gets 10 rebounds a game. He averages 14 and 10. He's your main big guy. And I'm sorry, Anthony Walker, his replacement, he's not that guy. He's not Norchad Omier. Norchad Omier is a beast on the court. He could run the floor, and he plays good defense. He's like, the thing is that he's kind of big.
That's what I was just about to say.
He's not super tall, but he's aggressive. He plays hard, and if he doesn't play in this tournament, I'm sorry though, Miami not going far. They likely probably not making it to the Sweet 16. If he doesn't play in this first game, don't bet on them even winning this first game. You know what I'm saying? That's how valuable he is to this team. I still think maybe they pull it out, but hey, if something as tragic as that happened in that first game, who knows what else could be in the cards for this March Madness game, because the hate for Miami is real though. The hate for Miami, like I felt it when I was out there. I felt it when I was out there, bro.
Yes.
It's and the other thing that I seen, man, is that this journalism game is still very much a good old boy network. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the journalists that were out there, older white men. I'm just gonna call it what it is. They were not.
How did they embrace you over there?
Most of them did, but there were some that didn't. Some that didn't even really acknowledge that I was even there or whatnot. Which is cool. I get it, because the South, even though we in the South, the real South, North Carolina, where I was at, that's the real South, and you just kind of, it's reality check for me, because down here everything's so diverse, and you kind of feel like, okay, so the world is like this, but it's really not. At least not in the deep South of this country. So, that was just kind of an interesting experience, just to be in that environment and just see how much we were outnumbered was something that I really took from the trip as well. And then Miami, man, Miami is not. You could just tell that it's a team that people just love to root against. It's the country in itself just kind of likes to root against Miami.
Why? Yeah. Why? The beaches, the women, and the weather. Yes, we know why.
And also, I think it's because we are, for the most part, we're fair weather fans, and these other cities, they live and die about their sports or their team or whatnot, and like they see that, hey, if we ain't winning, we ain't coming. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's for the most part. Let's just be real. Let's call it what it is. We ain't winning, we ain't coming. We
got other shit to do.
We got other stuff to do. The beaches, the women, the weather is what we live in. You know what I'm saying? So explore those options instead of being mad that our team is losing to some team that we ain't supposed to be losing to. So they hate us because of that too. So I mean, it was natural to see that the crowd was obviously a pro against Miami crowd, because you had most of the teams from North Carolina. Wake Forest is in North Carolina. Wake Forest is actually the closest school to that city of where I was in Greensboro, and then Duke is also in North Carolina, and then Virginia, who played Duke in the final, not that far away. So overall, I think they played well, considering Norchad Omier was hurt. And, Isaiah Wong was playing well until he couldn't hit shots at the end. But, it is what it is. He scored 22, and then Jordan Miller was giving you everything he got in that game as well, who I think is really underrated. But they're going to need Norchad Omier in this. I wrote a piece on CanesCounty.com, just the 3 takeaways from the ACC tournament. And one of them is, I said, no Norchad, no chance. I mean, that's the title of one of the subtitles in the story, and I really feel that way as far as going far in this tournament, like doing what they did last year to make it to the Elite 8. I don't really see it happening without a healthy Norchad Omier. As far as his status is concerned, is day to day. It's a sprained ankle. The thing about sprained ankles, you could play on it, but as soon as you have a tweak here, a tweak there, then you right back to square one. That's the thing about it. It's not going to heal in like 1 week,
So basically, is he, if we're talking about bracket wise, he probably can play the first game, but second game probably can't, or second game, first and second game, if we make it there, and then we go to the third game and something happens. So
right, they're gonna have to limit his minutes. That he's probably gonna play, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes, something like that. And the way he plays, it's like you don't want a half-ass Norchad Omier. You want 100% Norchad Omier, because that's how he plays. He plays like it's his last game every game, So
I mean, situation. He's young. Hopefully, because he's young, he can make a full recovery. Again, the University of Miami have the best medical staff. From my understanding, growing up, you want to go to the University of Miami because they have the best medical staff in the nation. That's from my understanding. But you got other people like, no, it's our university. But I'm going to stick with the University of Miami. But going on what you were saying, as far as it being in North Carolina, and you having only you being the reporter for the Canes, it kind of was writing on the wall. It's like the Canes ain't gonna win today. We're gonna make sure that they don't leave over here with a victory, because if they win, who's gonna be the only one in the press conference interviewing? It would be Marcus Benjamin. You feel me? And I don't know if that would have been a good look, for the NCAA. in regards, or the ACC.
It would have been a great look.
It would have been a great look. Yeah, it would have been. Everything would have been. That would have been wonderful. That would have been like, y'all, basically try to sabotage us. It didn't work, and everybody here hates us. Marcus could feel the energy. I'm pretty sure the players could feel the energy. And you could just silence all the haters. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? I would have found a way if I was you to say the beach is the women in the weather. We know that they hate Miami because of the beaches, the women in the weather. You know, how does it feel to silence all of the haters? That would have been amazing, man. But you know, like you said, March Madness is around the corner.
Yeah,
I do think that we do have a good shot. Even if he's not 100%, I know you don't want him to be half-assed there, but I'd rather him, you know, than the backup that you said, because it seems like a 80% or 90% of our guy, he you know, it's a better result we would actually have. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I know we play on Friday. Today is Tuesday. Yeah. And it should give him enough time to actually you know, heal up, you know, because I twisted my ankle before. And when I was younger, and you know, the next day I was good. And then other times as I got a little older, twisted my ankle and I could barely walk. So hopefully it's the younger Wes for Omer, and he can make a full recovery. And then you could be the only one interviewing him again.
Yeah, man. I'm not going to Albany, New York for this regional. Yeah, I got peoples in New York, and my wife has peoples in Boston, but it's a 2.5, almost basically a 3-hour drive to one of those places. I'm just like, nah, I'm not doing that. But it's funny that you mentioned twisting the ankle, because that shit happened to me. Not now that I think about it, I'm like, damn, that was a bad omen, because I'm sitting there trying to find where I need to go. This is the first day that I get there, right before the Wake Forest game, and I couldn't quite find where the media entrance was, and I'm looking around, and then like there was this like you know, like a curve, you know, that I didn't see. And my ankle like twisted, and there was this black girl behind me, and she was like, "Oh, you all right?" and I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." She was like, "Nah, you need some ice. We got some ice in there. You need some ice." And I was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm thinking I'm good, right?" But the next day, my Achilles was sore. Like my like I'm walking with a slight limp, like my Achilles was like sore, but I'm trying to play that shit off. But now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, damn, that was a bad omen, you know. And then that next game, not the Wake Forest, but the next one, you know, that happens to Omer. It was like a bad dream too, because there's this old dude who covers Miami, but he doesn't. It's like he's a guy who's like, he told me his story. Like, he decided to cover the Canes because he felt like they needed more notoriety, you know, the basketball team. But he doesn't really do journalism, right? Anything like that. So I was pretty much talking to him because he got a credential and he got in. But he wasn't in the press conference. He wasn't in the locker room. He wasn't producing stories. He wasn't doing content or anything like that. But he's the one who told me, like, I'm there typing because I'm doing updates of the game and whatnot. And he was like, "Oh, Omer's hurt." And I was like, did he just say what I think he just said? You know, he's like, "Omer's hurt. He's on the ground. He's in pain." I was like, and I look up and I was like, hell no.
Of course.
You know, because I'm like, yeah, like, of course this happens. Like, we're barely into the game, and like it was like literally his first rebound, and like he gets hurt. I was like, damn, it's crazy. But hey, we'll see what happens, because before this tournament happened, before this situation happened, I think this team has a chance to get the Final Four. So if those medical doctors at UM can, you know, give them the shot, you know, or or some of them Zoe ladies could do some kind of magic, some of this on it, some Mr. Miyagi type.
Mr.
Miyagi. That's what we need. That's what we need right now.
Definitely. Now, I know you've been covering the Canes basketball team, but this is a football town, man. This is a football town.